So let's start in a Supta Baddha Konasana. So lie down on your back and place the soles of your feet together and drop your knees out to the sides of the room. And if you notice this might be a little too much for you on your hips, feel free to slide your feet a little bit more forward. Okay? And then place both hands on your low belly and close your eyes. Let's go in and get present to our physical bodies. How do we use the practice of yoga, right, to move through, right, the difficult times that we're living in right now, right? It's very evident and it's very present, right, that there's a lot of fear, anxiety, a lot of doubt, confusion, right? That's just present in the air. But one thing that is consistent and constant and always with us and really is the foundation of our life, right, is our breath. And so the outside world around us, what we experience, is something that we cannot control, but what we can have a deep connection and a surrender to is our breath, a trusting of the breath. So as you're here, just allowing your hands to soften on your belly, just taking a few nice full breaths in and out through the nose. With each exhale, allowing the body to soften and open up. Noticing if there's any areas within yourself that might feel tight or constricted. And from the mind, the letting go of the mind, the softening of the mind, right, allowing you to drop into your heart and breathe into that space. Now place your hands on your outer thighs. Slowly lift your knees in towards center together. Separate your feet as wide as your mat and come to constricted rest. So you'll turn your toes slightly inward and drop your knees in towards one another. Rest the hands on the low belly and intentionally, right, take this time as you inhale to breathe into the belly. Fill the belly up with breath. And as you exhale, really feel your belly soften in. Good. As you inhale, right, fill the belly up like a balloon. It expands to its full capacity. And as you exhale, right, feel the belly soften and empty. So all your attention right now is connecting to the source as you fill the belly up with diaphragmatic breathing. And as you exhale through the nose, letting the belly, right, be nice and soft. 3 more rounds here. Breathing in through the nose, fill the belly up. Nice and slow, taking as much time as you need. And as you exhale, feel the belly soften. And full breath in. Full breath out. And a nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And keeping your legs in the shape of constricted rest, open your arms out to a T position, right? And you're going to give yourself a big hug. So wrap your right arm over your left. Wrap your fingertips around the backs of your shoulders. We're stretching the back of the body. So by the legs having an internal rotation of dropping inward, right, we are opening up the back of the pelvis. And then with the hands wrapped around, right, there's some space being created in the upper torso, right, the shoulders. And then see if you can just, right, have this nice steadiness with your breath, letting the breath be really natural now. As you inhale, right, feeling the sensation of the breath on the tips of the nostrils. And as you exhale, right, connecting right to that. On your next breath in, open your arms out to a T. Keep your legs in the same shape and put the opposite arm on top, wrapping your fingertips around you. Feel the connection of your feet to the floor. By finding the ground, right? In times right now where there's a feeling of groundlessness, right? There's the not knowing, right? How do we connect to the ground through our feet, receiving that support and that trust and finding the groundedness within our breath? And it starts with connection, with focus. Soften the space between your eyebrows, your third eye center, and let your eyes get really soft behind the eyelids. Let your jaw become soft and right, your tongue inside of your mouth be soft. On your next inhale, you'll unravel your arms and slowly float your knees in toward your chest. So just kind of assist the legs there and just start to rock from side to side a little bit. Feel the width of your pelvis going from the right side and the left side. Then you can take both knees into a circle, right? Taking maybe 2 to 3 circles, right, to the left. And then take 2 to 3 circles to the right. And stretch your legs up to the ceiling and place your hands behind your thighs and just start to point and flex your toes a little bit. So use your hands as support right behind your thighs, and you can round your ankles out a little bit. Good, and then hug your knees back in towards your chest, squeeze in to happy baby pose, and feel free to grab the ankles, right? It's a little softer if you grab the ankles. So separate the feet apart, allow the back of the head and the shoulders to really drop down into the floor, and let the focus here be that as your shoulders connect down to the earth, you feel a slight opening through the pelvis. You could rock, you can be still, right? Whatever feels comforting for you. Or how can we use this morning's practice as an opportunity to get grounded, right? To become present to our breath as a tool, but then also to comfort ourselves. To create that sense of comfort. Hug your knees into your chest and take a supine twist. Drop both knees over to the right side. Open your arms to a T position and gaze over your opposite shoulder. Okay, let the shoulders right drop down to the earth. Let go of any control, any have-tos, any musts, right? All of that doesn't serve us in this sort of space. How do we work with what's right in front of us? As my teacher Cindy says, all things arise, right? They abide for a moment and then they dissolve. And to walk the true middle path is being able to ride the wave, to be the steadiness when the storm hits. It's through our practices that we have the ability to do that. Slowly lift your knees through center and reverse sides. Drop your knees over to the opposite side. Open your arms to a T position and gaze over. Nice full breaths in and out through the nose. And slowly lift your knees through center. Give yourself a nice big hug. Hug those knees in. And then you can take a little bit of rocking up and down the mat, or just one little rock to come right to a cross-legged seat. Easy seat Sukhasana. Good. Lift the flesh of your buttocks back. That's it. Crisscross applesauce, right? Breathe in. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. And then exhale, fold right over your legs. Soften the elbows, let your head go. And just breathe right here. Meet yourself exactly where you are. So notice if there's like a pushing or a pulling, let that go. How do we come into the shape of the pose? Allow what's here to be here and work with it. Right? And that comes from full acceptance of what is, right? Full acceptance of my body in this shape right here, right now. And with me accepting this, my shape and how I'm feeling, can I use my breath as a tool to ground me? Walk your hands back towards your hips. Tense your right fingertips to the floor and then slowly take a side bend over, all the way over. Good. Inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling and then take your side bend over to the other side. Just reverse your hands. Let it be soft. Let it be easeful. Don't think so much. Good. Breathe in, reach both arms to the ceiling. Reverse tabletop. Place your hands behind you, feet on the floor, and just take just a gentle lift up. Just a gentle lift up. And then exhale, release the hips down. Crisscross applesauce with the opposite leg on top. Breathe in, reach both of your arms up to the ceiling. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Let the head be nice and heavy. Wherever you are, right, honor that and have gratitude for that. It's when we think things should be a certain way, this shouldn't be happening, right? That's when we start to suffer, when we come in resistance of what is. But when we accept what is, then we can work from our strength, from presence, from power. Walk your hands back towards your legs. Inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, and now we'll twist to the right. Left hand on the outside edge of the right thigh and tense your right fingertips behind you. Let's stay in the twist for a moment. As you inhale, lift up out of the pelvis, lengthen the side of the body, and exhale, see if you can open a little bit more. Good, now inhale, unravel, reach both arms up to the ceiling and twist in the opposite direction. Left hand behind you, right hand to thigh. Inhale to lengthen, lift out of the pelvis. Exhale to twist, to open. Breathe in, unravel, reach both arms up to the ceiling, backstroke the arms, come into your reverse tabletop one more time. Feet to the floor, inhale just to touch into it. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release down. Swing the legs around, hands and knees, tabletop position, and we will come right into some cows and some cats. Okay, so feel your hands and your knees on the floor. See that your ankles and your knees are in alignment, and as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest up to the ceiling, and as you exhale, round the back. Drop the tailbone towards the knees, and take these on your own, at your own pace, feeling, right? Creating the connection between the breath and the movement. Right, your focus right now, your work is to create a beautiful, beautiful synchronization of the inhalation with the movement, feeling the extension through the front body. And then as you exhale, feel the extension of the back body. Go for about 5 more, and you can let this develop into anything that's going to create that sense of comfort and ease for you. So if that's maybe some hip circles, some head circles, some shoulder shrugs, right, know that you can be a little playful here. And just create what you need right in the moment. Right, notice your connection with your hands on the floor to really plug the fingertips and knuckles into the ground. And as you're plugging down between your hands and your feet, lift the low belly to the spine a little bit. Start to bring some intentionality in the center line of the body. Right, so we're working from the center. Once you've completed your 5 rounds, you will tuck your toes and press back into downward facing dog. You may have to walk your hands a little forward, your knees a little back. Do what you need to do, and then keep that movement present in the down dog. Pedaling out the feet, shaking out your head. Any movements that you need to take. Set your eyes to one physical point. Right? So it could be the space at the back of your mat. It could be a space at the wall behind you. It could be at your belly. Right? Choose the space where your neck has some release and some opening. And as you're in your down dog, is it possible for you to create some foundation from the hands, the feet, and the core to press the hands, the fingertips into the floor and slowly lift the low belly into the spine? Drop your knees to the mat, child's pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Drop your seat to your heels. And let's take 5 breaths here. And just let whatever's coming up to the surface, right, let it come. Seek refuge in your breath. Right, seek solace right in the breath. And create freedom right through your movements, allowing your movements this morning to be healthy, accessible, integral. Downward facing dog. Set your eyes between your thumbs, soften your knees, and slowly walk your feet to your hands. Take your time. You can widen your feet as you walk. It might make it a little easier. And then separate your feet hip distance apart. Grab opposite elbows and let your head go. Feel free to lift your toes up off the floor. You can shift your weight forward and back a little bit. Good. Release your hands down to your mat and now toe heel your feet together or keep a little separation of your feet. Halfway lift, breathe in, hands to shins and press your heart to the front of the room. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, press your heart to the front of the room. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Halfway lift, breathe in. Stay in this halfway lift. Place your right hand to your right thigh. Bend the knees a little bit and stretch your left arm to the ceiling. Just a little twist here. Little opening up. Good. Now place the left hand down. Find a little bit of, not making it so stationary, a little light. Reach the right arm to the ceiling, a little twist. Good. Right hand down. Breathe in. Press the chest a little more forward. Soften the knees. Exhale, fold. Let the head go down. And now bend the knees deeply. Slowly roll up to stand or place your right hand to your right thigh, left hand to left thigh, and roll up slowly. Stretch your arms out and up to the ceiling. Nice. Right hand grabs your left wrist and take a side bend over to the right side, all the way over as you plug both feet into the mat. Inhale, come through center and reverse. Take your side bend over in the opposite direction. Really good. Come up back to center, interlace the hands, flip the palms up, gaze up, stretch the wrists a little bit, and then let those hands go and then interlace the hands at the base of the spine. And don't make it so tight, or just kind of a little interlace and just press the interlace back a little bit and gaze up so you feel a little stretch in the front of the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, just release the hands, feet together. Bring your hands right to heart center, gaze forward. Let's join our voices with one Om. Extended mountain pose, inhale, stretch your arms out and up to the ceiling. Exhale, fold, pull the belly to the spine as you fold over your legs. Halfway lift, soften the knees, heart moves towards the windows. Exhale, you fold, drop the crown of your head to the floor. Extended mountain pose, rise. So press both feet into the mat, reach those arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold, pull your belly to your spine and fold over your legs. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, downward facing dog, exhale. Full breaths in and out through the nose, right? Drop the crown of the head to the floor and look in between your feet, right? Let the neck be free. Roll forward to a high plank pose, nice and slow, and go all the way to the tippy toes. Drop your knees to the floor and take a low push-up. Lower the heart between the thumbs, right to the floor. Press into a baby cobra now. Untuck the toes. Hands come right alongside the rib cage and then hug the elbows in. Use your legs, so press the tops of the feet to the floor to lift the heart. Take a breath in. And now as you exhale, release the heart back down. Press up onto hands and knees or to high plank and then up and back to downward facing dog. So everyone's going to really have their own flow in this class this morning. Some of you are going to choose to drop your knees. Some of you will choose to just take a low push-up, right? Some of you will choose to lower down to your belly. I want you to choose the one that creates that comfort and support. Let's take struggle out of the room this morning and really work with what we have by making choices that we feel safe and healthy. Breathe into your tippy toes, soften your knees, look between your thumbs. You may walk to your hands. Take as many steps as you need to get there. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, reach your arms out and up to the ceiling. We'll start to move 1 breath per movement, and exhale, you fold over your legs. Halfway lift, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, plant your palms, and step back to a down dog. Roll forward to a high plank pose and take a low push-up of choice. You can lower to your belly, elbows to ribs, or drop the knees. This time, pull up into a cobra. You're a little higher, elbows are soft. Pull the chest up to the ceiling. Nice, downward facing dog. Exhale. At any moment, right, you need rest, you take child's pose. Right? Always, right, take care of yourself. You can stay in child's pose as long as you need. Breathe into your tippy toes, soften your knees. You may step, hop, or walk to your hands, whatever you choose. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Downward facing dog, exhale. Roll forward plank pose, inhale. Low push-up of choice, exhale. Cobra or up dog this time as you breathe in. Downward facing dog, exhale. Really great work, everyone. Nice full breaths in and out through the nose. Let the neck be free by letting the head just drop down to the earth. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Drop the knees when you need to. Listen to your body. Breathe into your tippy toes. Bend your knees. Step, hop, or walk to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, rise. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, downward facing dog, right? Step into that down dog. Roll forward to a high plank with intention to a low push-up as you exhale. Up dog or cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, exhale. You got it. Breathe into your tippy toes, bend your knees, step, hop, or walk to your hands. Halfway lift, exhale, fold. Feet together, Utkatasana. And so bend your knees and sweep your arms alongside your ears, right? And set your gaze right to one physical point. Bring the upper arm bones right alongside those ears. Good. Now let's take actually our hands. Let's do this. Bring the hands to the hips. And then staying in Utkatasana, you're going to just slowly float the left knee and straighten that leg in line with the left hip and hold. Now see if you can straighten that right leg. Everybody standing up nice and straight. Step back to a warrior one now. Go back. Yeah, there we go. And reach those arms up to the ceiling. Different ways to get into poses, right? There's never just one way. Set your eyes, and then you just switch, right? If you did the other right, the other left, it's all good. Good. Right, feel, spread your toes out wide on the floor. So our right leg is forward, and if your left leg is forward, be free and have your left leg forward. It's all good. Good. Open up to a warrior two, and gaze over your right middle finger. And then your left arm, energetically press back through your left fingertips a little bit more. Yes, you can start to feel like your shoulders over your hips. Good, now inhale, straighten your right leg and touch your palms over your head. So Karen kind of knows this, so she's at the front. She's going to be my demo. And then exhale, warrior two. Bend your knee and arms come out. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, straighten the legs, palms to touch overhead. Exhale, warrior two, bend. Inhale, we straighten palms to touch. Exhale, warrior two, bend. And then one more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior two, bend. Stay here. Flip your right upper arm bone. Peaceful warrior. Breathe in. Keep bending your right knee and stretch back, 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 back. Cartwheel your arms down to the floor to a high plank or down dog to high plank and take your vinyasa of choice. Up dog or cobra, you inhale, and downward facing dog, exhale. Let's take a breath in together and a nice big sigh out of the mouth. Aha. That's definitely needed, right? Inhale to your tippy toes, bend your knees. You may step, hop, or walk to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Utkatasana, rise. Let's hold Utkatasana and set your gaze to one physical point. Let's have Larissa give better instructions this time. Place your hands on your hips, right? And then now you're going to slowly float your right knee in line with your right hip. And straighten the left leg. So boom, you're standing up nice and tall. Step back to warrior one. Should be the opposite leg. If not, just make the switcheroo. Spread your toes out nice and wide. And reach your arms alongside your ears for anyone at home listening to that, right? Press the outer edge of your foot into the floor. And if you did the opposite, right, you just switch it. It's okay. And just bring some breath into the space. Eyes are steady. Soften the fingers a little bit. Bring a lightness right around your face, lightness around the heart. And then open to a warrior two. Gaze over your left middle finger. Now as you inhale, straighten your leg, palms to touch overhead. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, re-straighten, palms to touch. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, re-straighten nice and slow. Use the full inhalation. Exhale, bend your knee. We have one more. Inhale, straighten, palms to touch. Exhale, bend your knee. Flip your left upper arm bone. Peaceful warrior. Breathe and reach back, back, back. Cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Down dog to a high plank or high to low, to the belly, whatever, right? Creates that feeling of comfort, of ease, of power for you. Breathe into your tippy toes, bend your knees, step, hop, or walk to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Utkatasana, rise. As we breathe in, we rise. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway lift, down dog or high to low push-up, you choose. Up dog or cobra, you inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, bring your feet together this time and lift your right leg to the ceiling. This can be done on hands and knees, right? And then bend your knee and open up your hip. Just get that little opening here. Good, now straighten your right leg to the ceiling. Rise up high onto your left tippy toes and then step your right foot between your thumbs. You can also drop your left knee down and step your right foot forward. Good. This time spin the left heel to the floor, rise up to warrior one. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the legs, palms to touch over the head. We breathe in. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, we straighten the leg. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten the leg, palms to touch. Exhale, bend your knee. Last one. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend your knee. Peaceful warrior, breathe in, bend the right knee, keep reaching back, and land into extended side angle. Right forearm to right thigh. Fingertips can come to the floor or to a block. Your left arm, you can extend it up to the ceiling. You can reach it towards the front of the room. You may also come into a half bind. Get present to your right hip crease. Really feel that right hip crease and gently pull that right hip crease back and in towards center so you can slightly feel your pelvis press towards the blocks at the wall on the left side. Triangle pose. Straighten your right leg, right hand to shin. Reach your left arm to the ceiling or use your blocks if you have one. It's totally up to you. As you inhale, lift the inner thighs in toward the pelvic bone, and as you exhale, can you maybe roll the right side of the rib cage up towards the ceiling? Press both feet down into the mat, rise up to stand. Side facing, wide-legged forward fold. Turn both toes to 12 o'clock, hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your chest to the ceiling, and then exhale, fold right over your legs. Your options here, you can grab your ankles. You can spin your fingers back and walk your hands between your legs. You can take a twist. Your right hand can grab your left ankle, and you can reach your left arm to the ceiling, right? So find the one that's going to give you some openness, some release, right? To feel something. We want to feel things. In order to heal, right, in life, and just to be able to move forward with a sense of ease, to walk that middle path, we have to be willing to feel all things. And through the feeling of the things, letting it come to the surface, trust our awakened hearts, right? That's how they become awakened, through our vulnerability, that we have the tools and the ability to move through anything that comes our way. But it starts with the physicality. It starts with the feeling. Halfway lift, breathe in, hands on your hips, rise all the way up to stand. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Turn the right toes to 12 o'clock and shorten your stance. So your right foot is at 12 o'clock. Your back toes are slightly externally rotated. Good. As you inhale, lift your chest to the ceiling, and then exhale, fold over your right leg. And focus on pulling that right hip crease back and up. And then release your hands to the floor. Really good. Spread your toes out wide on the floor. Halfway lift, breathe in, soften your right knee and forward fold at the top of the mat. Left foot meets the right. Good, separate your feet hip distance apart. Peace fingers around your big toes. You're gonna take your middle finger and your pointer, put them together and wrap them around your big toe. Inhale, lift your chest to the front of the room, and then exhale, fold, right? Let your head go. Let that chin soften into the throat. There's nowhere to be and there's nothing to do except being right here. I know for myself, like when I started, if I make a decision about something, of doing a specific thing, when I fully bring myself into committing to doing that thing, that's when I start to become free. I used to kind of commit to lots of things at one time, and then part of myself would be in one thing and part of myself would be in another thing, and I always felt inauthentic, incomplete, stressed out, unfocused. But when I started choosing one thing at a time, like if I'm in yoga, I'm going to put all the things I have to do on a shelf and I'm going to be in yoga. When I started making those decisions, some space started to kind of come up in life a little bit. Release your fingers from your toes, bring your feet together, rise right up to your Utkatasana as you inhale, reach the arms to the ceiling. We're going to go right to a flow. Exhale, forward fold. Let's keep building some heat. Halfway lift, breathe in, down dog, high to low. You can hold your down dog, you choose. Up dog or cobra, you breathe in. Downward facing dog, exhale. Feet together, lift your left leg to the ceiling. Bend your knee and open up your hip. Just get that little bit of spaciousness there. Stretch your left leg back to the ceiling. Rise up high on your right tippy toes and step into a low lunge to warrior one. Spin the right heel to the earth and press into your feet to rise. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Gaze over your left middle finger. Inhale, straighten both legs, palms to touch overhead. Bend your knee as you exhale to warrior two. Inhale, straighten your legs, palms to touch. Exhale, bend your knee to warrior two. Inhale, we straighten both legs, palms to touch. Exhale, warrior two. Last one, breathe in to straighten. Exhale, we bend. Peaceful warrior, reach a little forward, reach back, back, back. Extended side angle. Bend your left knee. Left fingertips can come either to the floor, left forearm to left thigh, and just notice the relationship between your fingers and your hands. Are your feet really active and your fingers not active? How do we bring in total body integrity from hands to feet to core? Everything being intentional and working, not just some parts of ourselves. The definition of yoga means to yoke, to join, to bring together. Union. Trikonasana, triangle pose, straighten your left leg. Left fingertips can be on your shin, on the outside edge of your left foot, and stretch your right arm to the ceiling. Ground both feet into the floor, so press the feet into the floor and let that rebound energy come up through the thighs to kind of talk to the heart, to open up a little more. Like it's like the legs, like I got you. You can open up a little bit more. Let's try this. Place your right hand to your right hip and then rise up to stand. Yeah, both hands to hips, side facing wide leg forward fold. Turn the toes. Inhale, lift your chest to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Any arm variation you choose. You can interlace the hands, right? You can work in a way that feels good for you. Eyes are open. Twists, bending of the knees, lunges. And release your hands to the floor. Halfway lift, breathe in, hands to hips. Rise up to stand. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Turn the left toes to 12 o'clock. Shorten your stance and your back toes are externally rotated slightly, right? They're at like a 45-degree angle. Breathe in to lift your chest to the ceiling. Exhale, fold over your left leg. And drop your head down to the floor. Nice full breaths in and out through the nose with your eyes open. And then halfway lift, breathe in, bend the left knee and both feet meet at the top of the mat, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, rise, reach your arms out and up to the ceiling, gaze forward. Eagle pose, right side, right arm under, right leg over. So you can take your toes either to the floor, they can be wrapped, you can come to a figure four, you can hug yourself. There's like so many different ways of doing this pose, right? Do the one that creates support, that there's a sense that you have access to balancing in the moment, and really set your eyes to one physical point. Good, extended mountain pose, inhale, reach your arms out and up to the ceiling. Eagle pose, left side. Hug everything in towards the center line of the body, from the skin to the muscles to the bone, right? You draw in. Tadasana, release your hands alongside your body. Place your hands on your hips and then float your right knee in line with your right hip. Press the left foot firmly down into the floor so it kind of feeds that right knee in line with the hip. Now place your right hand to your right knee and open up to standing leg raise. You can keep your left hand to your hip. You could stay right there, or you could reach your left fingertips to the ceiling. You got it. You got it. Good, slowly bring the leg back to center. Beautiful. And then release the foot down to the floor and then reverse sides. Take as much time as you need to create the pose. Right? There's no expectations, there's no have-tos. Most of that we put on ourselves, and we want to let that go. Right? We want to be okay with what shows up. Good, slowly bring the leg back to center and release the feet to the floor. Good, tree pose, right side. So you can start with your hands on your hips. Your toes can either be down at the floor on the inside of the calf, or the foot can go all the way up on the inner thigh, wherever you'd like to go. And if you're bringing it to the inner thigh, really press the foot into the inner thigh and press the left inner thigh into the foot. And see what happens when you squeeze your left butt cheek. Can you maybe open up the hip a little bit more? Hands can stay at heart, to hips. Just breathe exactly where you are. Got it. Tadasana, feet together. Tree pose, left side. And balance is really about not necessarily being attached to getting the balance. Yoga is really not about the poses. It's about the process and how we talk to ourselves and how we respond to things. So creating balance on your mat right now is being okay, right, with whatever shows up, allowing yourself to be in this organic expression that if you fall, the balance is to come back, not to give up, not to get angry. Right? Can you practice that teaching right there? Deep breath in and release both feet to the mat. Nice work. Ready? Extended mountain pose. Last flow. Here we go. Reach the arms out and up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Halfway lift. Everybody step back to high plank this time. So take as much time as you need to a high plank pose and hold. Hold the pose for 5. Belly's up and in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Nice and slow. Untuck the toes. One cheek to one side. And rest. Breathe into your belly. So this is one of my favorite ways to take on diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing, because you can really feel yourself breathe into your belly when your belly has like a surface to press into. So just while you're here, just take a few rounds of diaphragmatic breathing. As you inhale, fill the belly up. Feel that expansion and feel your belly soften. And then take the opposite cheek to one side. And take on that same practice, right? Really focusing, let the shoulders get soft, let the whole body really get soft. Let it go, let it soften to the earth and breathe into your belly. Feel the belly press right into the floor. And place your forehead or chin to the mat and flip your palms down towards your mat. So hands stay by your hips, right? But palms down. On your inhale, we will only lift the head and the chest. You will press your hands and feet into the floor for a half Salambhasana, half locust pose. So inhale to rise, press your hands and your feet into the floor. So you can really feel your low back muscles working. All right, and then soften, pull your chin in towards your throat a tiny bit. Nice breath in. Exhale, release the head and the chin down to the mat. You can place your forehead to the floor. Now we're going to stay in the same shape, but we're going to press the forehead, the chest, and the hands into the floor and only lift the legs. Okay, so as you inhale, just lift your legs. Use the power of your hands and your chest to press down and hug the outer shins in towards center. Good. Take a breath in, just the legs lift up. Yep, you got it. And exhale, release down. Now press. We're going to keep the legs down. We're going to lift the chest, the head up off the floor. Inhale, lift the head, lift the chest. Go for it. Float the hands, float the feet. Everything rises up. Good. Reach your fingertips towards your heels and pull, right, your low belly up and into your spine. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale, release down to the floor. Place your forehead or chin to the mat. Up dog, cobra, sphinx pose, baby cobra, anyone you choose. Just come right up into it. Really press your hands into the floor. Point your toes back, right, so your ankles are in line with your knees. Take a nice breath in. And then exhale, slowly come onto hands and knees. Transition with ease. Nice and slow, and lie down on your back for bridge pose. How's everybody doing? Good? We'll get to be on our back soon. Shavasana's coming. I'm planning for a nice long Shavasana, so yes, that's what we need. That's what we need. Starting almost. Walk your heels to your buttocks, place your hands to the floor, and inhale, lift your hips up to the ceiling. Good, you got it. Walk your heels back a little bit more. Yes, perfect. Eyes open, everyone. We're present, we're here. We're creating the space, the practice that suits us, that works with us in the moment. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, release down. Upper back, middle back, low back. We'll do one more, and if you have a wheel in your practice and you'd like to take it, feel free to, or take on another bridge. Rise up, go for it. Bridge or wheel, your choice. Everybody press your feet firmly into the floor. Val, separate your feet a little bit wider. Yes. If you're in wheel, press your chest to the back wall. Let that head hang nice and free. And then you'll slowly come down, chin to chest. Beautiful. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees out to the side. Rest your hands anywhere. You can grab opposite elbows, hands to belly. Happy baby pose. I'm just noticing, right, these shapes, if they feel a little bit different from when we first, right, took them on. Maybe a little more accessible, maybe not, right, and it's okay. It's just being in the space of observation, just noticing. Let's take a figure 4. So hook your right ankle over your left thigh. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh and flex both feet. Yeah. So if you notice, right, if you can't reach your hands behind the thigh, it's okay. Just flex your feet. And what's nice to do too is to press your hands, release your arms and hands alongside the floor, and press those down into the floor as you flex your feet. Good. If you would like to extend your left leg to the ceiling, right, you can do that. You might like the way that feels, and you can point and flex those toes or just be steady and still with it. Good. You'll slowly unravel your leg. So bend that knee, hug the knees back into the chest. And happy baby pose again. Open the legs up. This time, if you want to come into a straddle, right, feel free to straddle the legs out. If you want to go a little wider, you want to grab the ankles, the toes, and then roll the pelvis towards the front of the mat, right? So you can actually feel your low back connected to the earth. So there's a lengthening happening from the tailbone all the way up through the cervical spine, right? You feel that whole length happening. And then transition into your figure 4 with your left leg over your right thigh. And flex your feet. You can point and flex that toe, leave it still. And slowly bend the knee, unravel your legs, hug your knees into your chest. Place your right foot to the floor. Extend your left leg to the ceiling. We got to do a little bit of abs. Hands behind the head, just a little bit, just a little bit. Just going to pulse up for 10, okay? So pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up on 1. Stay right there, but reach your arms forward. Reach your arms forward, hold, stay right there. Press the right foot into the floor, press the left heel to the ceiling, feel that C curve, hollow out the low belly. Now keep this shape in your torso, bend the left knee, place the left sole of the foot to the floor, hold, 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 and then roll the back down to the floor. Kind of got that? Yes, somewhat? Okay, it's all right, don't worry about it. It's all good. Right, okay, now so reverse your legs. So left foot is down, right foot is up, right switch, hands behind your head. Let's pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay here for a second. Good. Now reach your arms forward. Stay in the C curve shape. Stay in the C curve shape, but then start to bend the right knee. Place the right foot to the floor. Stay in that shape, stay in that shape, stay in that shape, and then roll onto your back. Good. Take a nice big full body stretch. What? You felt it that time. You felt it. Good. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Start to rock and roll up and down the mat. Get a little bit of oomph and come right into a seated forward fold. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Lift the flesh of your buttocks back. Flex your feet. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Let your hands go wherever they could go. Just drop the chin to the throat. Soften the eyes. Nice even breath, right? You can breathe into the side ribs. You can breathe into your waist, to the space between your shoulder blades. Slowly roll up to reverse tabletop. Place the soles of your feet to the floor, hands behind your hips. Breathe in, lift the hips to the ceiling. Nice and high, and exhale, release down. Lie down on your back and take a nice big full body stretch. One last full body stretch. So just because of time, I want to give you a longer Shavasana. Hug your knees into your chest. Let's just take our hands underneath our pelvis because we're not using blocks, right? We're just going to take like a variation of Viparita Karani without blocks and just lift your legs to the ceiling. So this is if you don't have any blocks and you want to take your legs up without using a wall. We're only going to be here for about 5 breaths. This is how you can do that. Let's all take a nice full breath in together. Big, big sigh out of the mouth. Move the muscles of the face around a little bit. Soften the knees now, soles of the feet to the floor. If you extend your right leg forward, extend your left leg forward, release your arms alongside your body. Take a moment to adjust yourself in any way. Now, if you notice when you come to this shape, to Shavasana, that if your low back feels a little icky, you can bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the floor, right? And that's another variation, a way of taking this pose. Separate your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Let the heart sink. Let the pelvis get nice and heavy. much time as you can. Move slowly as you come up to a comfortable seat facing the windows. Let your heart lead you. Let the heart lead you all the way up to center where the head just falls right on top of the heart. And then you'll slowly place both hands at heart center. Feel the touch of the fingertips, the palms. And it's in those moments where, right, life can feel like too much. Right? It's our practices that give us the ability to move forward. And sometimes moving forward isn't always so straight, right? It sometimes has dips and turns and ups and downs, but the ability to move forward happens through our practices. So in moments when you feel lost, when you feel confused, when you feel the fear, right, come back to your hands. Use your hands as an anchor to the present moment, the sensation that you feel. Right? Come to your breath, where you can seek refuge and foundation in. Right? Feel, right, the connection of yourself to the floor. Let those practices be what allow you to move forward. Being okay if it's not straight, right? Allowing the moving forward to be malleable, to move with you, to work with it, just as it is, moment by moment. Let's join our voices with the sound of one Om. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. May all beings dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Thumbs touch to our third eye center, our wisdom. Breathe in, lift the heart as we bow to each other and say, Namaste. Great work, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning.